today I'm going to be showing you all the best Destiny 2 fashion with the new Taken shader Umbral Rumble. Now if you don't have this shader, I'd recommend watching my 1-minute guide beforehand, but if you do have this shader then make sure you watch until the end, as I'll be showing over 50 unique transmogs from myself and my Discord server. If you like these sort of videos and want to see more, then please leave a like and subscribe for more Destiny 2 fashion content. And with all out the way, I'll be starting off with the Hunter fashion. So this is my first Hunter set. With a lot of my fashion, I wanted to recreate the Taken gradient, though the shader Umbral Rumble is really only good for the middle of the gradient, so I found pairing it with darker shaders on the top side and lighter shaders on the bottom is more effective when you want to recreate that Taken look. One armor piece I would highly recommend using with this shader is the anthemic invocation grips. The dark shoulders leading into the lighter forearms make it perfect for recreating the Taken transition and gradient. Now if you don't have the shader Honor to the 9 for the boots, I would instead recommend Bitter Pearl, and if you don't want to use the Mask of Bacchus exotic, then the Wormhusk crown with the Acolyte's Ambition exotic ornament is another great option. Now here is some more fashion I made instead for the new exotic class item Ornaments. The other armor pieces I used are scaly to help fit the high theme. The shader does a good job blending the armor pieces together and giving it the look of Taken, though my favourite and best Hunter fashion I made in my opinion is this one. The chest and boots do a really good job of showing that lighter transition, and as for the helmet I chose the Tusked Allegiance because of its bright glowing eye, though if you want the glow to be brighter on the heads then I found the Holdfast mask to be a better option. Anyways, I now want to show you all the best Hunter fashion from my Destiny 2 fashion Discord. This first one from Julicious is one of the most unique with this blend between Siva and Taken. Very well executed, and similar to this they made a blend between Vex and Taken, which I also think works really well. There were some other really interesting Hunter fashion like this one from DPT Doofy being based off the Hidden Swarm, and they have two slightly different versions of this. Then Alma made a Hunter called the Embodiment of the Dreadnought, with the helmet being based off the Taken eyes and the forearms resembling the tentacles. They also have this other version of this fashion which I personally prefer, mainly because I think the helmet is a perfect match with the Taken eye. Blue Lightning made fashion with this episode's rank 200 helm ornaments, which if you didn't know removes the hoods of cloaks and looks really good with the new exotic class item ornament. DPT Doofy also made hoodless fashion, but this incorporates more of those prismatic colours. Your Red made Taken fashion for the base version of the exotic class item. Camille made fashion for Celestial Nighthawk, but one detail I especially like with theirs is that the glowing eyes in-game match the candles on the hood. Mad Monk made a faceless Taken gunslinger. Mr. Merker used the shader for a deep sea theme which works really well with the Starry to Scales exotic ornament. Then here is another Hunter from Julicious. This one aims to use the normal Taken gradient. And finally we have this amazing Hunter using a Beastly Visage ornament from Praxis. But yeah, that pretty much does it for all of the Hunter fashion. Be sure to let me know which Hunter sets were your favourites in the comments below. And now it's time we move on to the Titan fashion. Now one thing I've seen a lot of people say about this shader is that it looks like Black Ice, which I do agree, and that's why I went with this frozen look for the Icefall Mantle exotic. Now compared to the Stasis themed shader's Shards of Stillness, this shader actually does a much better job at matching the ice on this exotic. As for the other armor pieces, I wanted to incorporate fur to help it look like it's built for snowy terrain, and that's why I think the Dark Age with the Iron Forerunner mark is a perfect fit. But the best piece in this fashion in my opinion is the Thunderhead helmet. With this shader it really makes the visor piece look frozen, and what's great is that this entire fashion can be earned in game. Unfortunately though, that is the only fashion I made for the Titan, but don't worry, I have a lot more to show from my Discord. This first one from Alma is based off the Cabal Unstoppable Champion. Perfect use of the Antaeus Ward's exotic. With the solar glows it really helps to recreate that red to white gradient at the bottom, and I think the use of Umbral with this helmet was the best you could do. Now they also had another cosplay fashion, this one being based off Malak. Again, another great use of Antaeus Wards. The colours throughout match really well, especially with that helmet. Now Beephamus also made quite a few sets, with the first being night themed, though what I really like is their Taken Nightmare Scene 14, and then their final Titan is named Nightlight. But honestly, I could see this being a really good Fire and Ice Titan as well, and this same thing can also be said for Cloudless and their Titan fashion. Now moving on, Copper made a very unique Titan with possibly the best use of the shader Mistophospher that I've ever seen. Dark Mustang made a Taken Astronaut. DPT based their Titan off the raid boss Herald of Fun commonality from the Salvation's Edge raid. They also made this sort of corrupted Taken Guardian, and Sir Stonks had a similar idea, both mixing the shader perfectly with the default look of the exotic ornament Abyss Inverted. Vox based their Titan off the Resonant Knife from the episode Heresy story. Then these next 4 cosplay fashions are from Prophet of Future, with the first being based off a Taken Acolyte. Their second one is based off a Taken Knight. Really like the use of the helmet and Antaeus wards with this one. They also use the Antaeus wards once again for that Taken Gradient with their Kel'Grath Titan. And finally their last one is a Taken Cabal based off the Hand of Oryx. Some incredible cosplays, so great work to Prophet of Future. Now just like Prophet, Grim Brother used the Antaeus wards for the Taken Gradient and based their Titan off Psylocke, which is a Taken Knight. Then Skugat, just like with my Titan fashion, used the shader Umbral Rumble with the Icefall Mantle. Techno Viking had an interesting use for the shader, making their Titan look like a Norse ghost. Jamie went with this full scaly Taken look. And finally Primo went with a similar look, but theirs is more sharp looking to fit the new exotic class item Ornaments. Anyways, that pretty much does it for all of the Titan fashion. Be sure to let me know which Titan sets were your favourites in the comments below. And now it's time we move on to the Warlock fashion. So just like with my Titan fashion, for my Warlock I also wanted to use Umbral Rumble as an icy shader, hence why I call this the Black Ice Warlock. The exotic ornament is perfect for this idea as it turns the crown into ice. I found the Dendrite Shimmer robes to look especially good with this shader because it applies this cracked look on cloth which really well fits the ice theme. Then for the gloves, boots and bond I used sharper armor pieces to help fit the ice shards on the crown. Overall I am pleased with how this fashion turned out, but now I'm going to be showing you all some more Warlock fashion instead from my Discord. This first one from Archon is based off Oryx. The robes and gloves match perfectly. It is a great use of the shader Umbral Rumble, making just the forearms look Taken. The helmet isn't perfect, but I think it's pretty good considering what we have in game, so really good work on this cosplay fashion. Moving on, I love what Cloudless did with their Warlock. The Flair's Dominion robes look so good with the gloves of the Taken King, almost makes it look like a Taken Witch Doctor, which I think is really cool. Credis made a Taken Princess. This is actually a great use of the Prometheum Spur exotic, because if you didn't know, the knee plates cannot change colour, and this shader is the perfect colour to match. Then next we have Onyx with their Riven's Acolyte Warlock. Trimedic instead used the Grasp of the Void ornament with these robes, and then we have Nebula, which used the Diadem of Deceit to create this crowned Taken Warlock. But what I like even more is their other Warlock, which is basically a Taken General. Yolia used the Aphotic Lamella robes, which I think is one of the best robes you can use with this shader, and what really pairs well with these robes are the gloves of the Taken King, as you can see with Prophet's Warlock. Then I have 2 final Warlocks to show you all. CEO of Rocks used the High-Minded robes, which creates this really unique look with one side looking more Taken Corrupted. And then the final Warlock, which I think looks amazing, comes from Twist. And yeah, that's pretty much all the fashion with the new Taken shader Umbral Rumble. Feel free to let me know which Warlock set is your favourite in the comments below. If you like this sort of video and want to see more, then leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to join my Destiny 2 fashion Discord if you want to submit fashion for future videos. Check out my Superblack Taken fashion and my best Heresy fashion video, which are both on screen. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.